Number 10, Cinco Ranch versus Jersey Village. Cinco quarterback Russell Morrison got the Cougars going, finding Corey Ceniceiros for a 49-yard touchdown in the first quarter. And then in the third, he would hit Ollie Norfleet as Cinco was up 14-6 late in the fourth quarter. What a comeback, though, for Jersey Village as quarterback Deshaun Qualls finds Lakin Alexis for the touchdown, but a penalty for the celebration put the Falcons trying to tie the game with a two-point conversion from the 17-yard line, and Qualls gets sacked by Dami Ilasanmi. So Cinco's still up 14-12. But the Falcons get the ball back with less than 2 minutes to go, and Qualls finds Joshua Bland to put the Falcons on the 4-yard line. And with 4 seconds left, the Falcons' Jordan Henderson with the 25-yarder for the win. Final score, 15-14. Number 9, Stratford versus Memorial. And it didn't take long to get a Game of the Year nominee as these two Spring Branch ISD rivals went at it in Week 1. Stratford quarterback Bryce Hooper and Bryce Stevenson hook up on 2 early touchdowns. Same first name and similar looking plays as Stratford jumped out to a 14-0 lead. Then Memorial's Chris Beggins does a great job of avoiding defenders and staying in bounds for a 34-yard touchdown to tie the game at 14-all in the third quarter. Memorial would go up 21-17 on this Colton Taylor touchdown. But Stratford had a final chance with 15 seconds left. Walker Crow gets the interception and Memorial holds on for the win, 21-17. Number 8, Katy versus the Woodlands. The game wasn't a nail-biter, but it makes the list due to the enormity of the upset. Not that the Woodlands is a pushover, mind you, but to upset the Tigers, who had won 50 straight regular season games, was quite an accomplishment. Incidentally, before this season, the Woodlands was the last team to beat the Tigers during the regular season. The Highlanders forced 4 turnovers and held the Tigers' amazing running game to only 137 yards in the 24-7 victory. Number 7, Crosby versus Dayton. Crosby looked to stay undefeated as they took on one of their 21 5A rivals. With 16 seconds left in the fourth quarter, Dayton's Tristan Bauman manages to escape not one but 2 Crosby defenders, and Jacarius Keener reads the tip perfectly for the game-tying touchdown. However, Crosby's Craig Williams and Carlos Grace combined for 5 touchdowns on the night, and Crosby wins it in overtime, 41-35. Number 6, Manvel versus Pearland. The showdown to close out the regular season featured 2 of the state's top 5 ranked teams and was the most anticipated regular season matchup of the year. Manvel quarterback De'Eric King was his usual amazing self as his 48-yard touchdown put Manvel up 14-3 in the first quarter. But in the second, Pearland would rally, and this TD strike from Jake Blumrick to Ryan Diaz from 41 yards out made it 28-17. Pearland cut it to 28-27 midway through the third quarter, but King would extend Manvel's lead as he hooks up with Reggie Hemphill Maps for the third time to make it 35-27. Then in the fourth, the Oilers drive it all the way down the field. Pinkston with another touchdown run to make it a 2-point deficit, 35-33. Pearland then goes for 2. It's a wide receiver reverse pass, but Manvel reads it perfectly. They intercepted the goal line, and that was the deciding play as Manvel wins the district over Pearland, 35-33. Number 5, Katy versus CIBOLO Steele in the 6A Division II state semifinals. Katy got off to a 10-0 start thanks to this Garrett Doron pass to Kyle Williams for a touchdown. Katy was able to march down the field and tie it as time expired on a Chris Perez field goal. And then in overtime, Rodney Anderson gets the touchdown as Katy holds on to top CIBOLO Steele 27-20. Number 4, Marshall versus Elkins. A week after losing to Ridge Point for their first loss of the year, Elkins finds themselves trying to bounce back. The 2 teams went back and forth all night. Jonathan Giles threw for 420 yards, 80 of which came on this touchdown pass play to Xavier Barnes that tied the game at 14-all in the second quarter. In the third quarter, Devon Crookshank gets a spectacular 81-yard kickoff return for a second touchdown of the game, which gives the Buffaloes a 28-21 lead. The Knights continued to trade blows all the way into the second overtime. Giles runs it in for the touchdown. And then facing a 4th and 4, Marshall gets stonewalled by the Elkins defense. The Knights seal the win, 42-35. Number 3, Navasota versus Argyle. And both teams were undefeated entering the 4A Division I final. Argyle was riding a 31-game winning streak, but the Rattlers struck first to jump out to a 14-0 lead with a couple of touchdowns, the first of which came midway in the first quarter when Shelton Epler hits future Baylor Bear Trendavian Dixon for a 32-yard touchdown. The touchdown pass was Epler's 68th of the year, tying the state record, but Epler wasn't through. Dixon already had the national record for most touchdown receptions in a season, but this one might have been the most incredible. Look at the one-handed grab to give Navasota a 21-14 lead. 225-pound running back Nick Ralston, who is an Arizona State commit, punished the Rattlers with 221 yards on 54 carries and 3 touchdowns, including this 7-yarder, to give Argyle the 35-28 lead in the first overtime. In the second overtime, the Epler-Dixon duo did it again for the 4th time. It was Epler's 71st touchdown of the season, which is the new state record. And Navasota gets his 2nd state title in 3 seasons with a 42-35 victory. Number 2, Channelview versus North Shore. Channelview had its first winning season in 20 years, and its biggest win came against Nemesis North Shore on October 10th. It didn't come easily, as the two teams combined for 1,099 yards. Not to say there wasn't any defense. Here's North Shore's Derek Jackson sacking Jalen Hurts, and Emeka Egbuli scoops it up for the touchdown as North Shore goes up 27-13. But Channelview hung tough, and as time expired, Bryant Valentine catches the game winner on a Jalen Hurts bomb as Channelview wins it 49-48. Number 1, Foster versus Calhoun. Our game of the year saw the two tied at 14 all in the 4th quarter when Foster's Trevor Parker connects with Evan Fairs for the 2nd time on the night to put the Falcons up 21-14. Just over a minute left in regulation, and things were looking bleak for Calhoun as they faced a 4th and 10 from the 28. But Raheem Jones finds J.C. Garcia, who takes it in for the touchdown, and Calhoun is back in business. SANDCRABS head coach Richard Whitaker elects to go for 2. The gutsy call pays off as Garcia dives in, and it's 22-21 with just 1:10 to go. But it was just enough time for Foster to come back, and on the final play, the Falcons use a little trickery with the reverse. Brandon Taylor finds Cedarian Lamb in the end zone, and what a catch by Lamb right as time expires. But wait, Foster thinks it's won the game, but the play gets called back for an illegal man downfield. However, because the game cannot end on an offensive penalty, Foster gets one more chance. They used up their trick play, so Fairs goes for the old-fashioned Hail Mary, and Lamb, who is just a sophomore, but he's 6'3" with a 42-inch vertical leap, makes the most of an extra opportunity. And the final is 28-22 as Foster wins a wild one